interview again. You're the pro. Ladies and gentlemen, white boy dancing.
Hey shipheads, it's Wednesday night, that makes it ship show night. And don't mind me just doing a bit of self-care before the show tonight. It takes a lot of work to look as good as I do. And tonight, we've got some special guests on the show. We'll be talking more about the group cruise and, well, the way John minds things, we could end up anywhere in the conversation. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Bagak!
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
What's going on?
I'm always afraid. This is the moment of truth. And I'm like, is it working? Can you see me? And then Trevor comes in and says Streamlabs. And then I'm just like, what's going on? And we got guests. And I'm like, is the audio going to go straight to Chisel?
Yeah. Just roll with it.
Yes. We hear you, says Rhonda Carney.
That's half the battle.
Sound and video good. I can count on Pepito, Momito, Conchito, Vovito.
Whoa.
Okay, it's working. Good. Good.
Can you,
good.
Can you relax now?
Yes. Matter of fact, I'm going to take a nap.
You lie. Lie.
Yeah.
What is up, crew? What's going on?
Oh.
We love you long time. You know, if you take a nap, anything can happen.
That's right. And sometimes that's the best. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Mary Ellen Dillon. She says we sound great. I hope we sound as great as we feel. I hope we sound as great as y'all look out there tonight.
Those screen names, dang, hot fire.
Yes, agreed. How's everybody doing? Dang it, it's freaking Wednesday night. It's ship show night. We've got an exciting show planned for you. If you if you saw the thumbnail or the title of this video, you could watch it, I suppose, but it'd be like looking at fine art, except totally different. You would see that we have a very special guest this evening, and we'll get to that in a moment. We will get to that.
Two very special guests.
Yes, I say a very special guest because they're a package deal.
True.
But they have a story to tell, and we're gonna let them tell it right here on the show. And you know, we're gonna get to some of your questions, but we're gonna try and ask them a few and let them tell their story first. Because if I start reading all the comments, I'm gonna squirrel out, and then it'll be a hot mess, and people will be like, "What the heck were you trying to say?" So we're gonna do our best here. But first of all, right off the gizzle, let's say hizzle to all our frizzles in the chisel.
Are you going to try and rhyme each name again?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I say that every week, and then all of a sudden I'm like, Al Clayco, better get Mako.
Well, you were worried he wasn't going to be here, but he is proud of his son. He wants to see his son.
Yeah, I guess so.
Doing what he does.
Christian Henry, it's been a long time. Thank you for the super chat, and I agree.
Thank you.
It's been a while
You know,
since I saw you.
it's been a long time, but
Thank you so much. Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate it. And for that, we'll just go ahead and give you the old dance arena. Appreciated. Thank you for supporting the ship show.
Thank you.
Whatever it is that we do here, we do appreciate the stinking daggone freaking support. So much love. Thank you. All right, here we go. ALJ, how you doing? It's time to pay. Wait, what? Amy Franzak. Friends with Mr. Bozak. You remember Mr. Bozak?
I just remember the hit the Bozak was the thing that people say.
Yeah. Andrew Swice is always nice. Anthony Simone. Right now he's on the phone, which is why he can't at everybody. I don't know. He could be on his computer. Arnold Kump giving people lumps.
Oh, geez,
Beached in Texas.
Yeah, you've already started off.
I know. I can't help it. How you doing, Beached in Texas? Billy J. Travels. As we all unravel. Brian Schultz is in the place. How you doing, sir? Brian Schultz. Spreading the mulch. Carla McClendon, never ending. Kathy Zoda.
Oh, she actually threw it out there earlier.
She could use a soda.
Carl McClendon can't rhyme.
I just
You
did.
just did.
Dang. Carla McClendon.
Never ending.
She's never ending. And the truth, she's not bending.
Oh, boy.
Christopher Brown. Going downtown. Chris Goo just put on his shoe to find out it didn't match. China Pearl. Let's give it a whirl. Okay, enough. I'm done. Crazy Cat Traveler, how you doing? Cruising for food. Q's Cruisers, gonna be the bruisers. D&G Explorers, always leaving you wanting morers. Check out D&G Explorers. Check out the Q's Cruisers. Check out Cruising for Food. Billy J. Travels, check them out. Check them all out, for heaven's sakes. And if you're a creator in the chat, put a little arrow and say creator so people know they could check you out. Daniel Fields is here. How you doing, Daniel? Dina Shania, glad to have you. Douglas, own your day, Hayward. I like the name change.
Yes, Douglas, and congratulations.
Yes.
He is a new proud grandpapa.
Yes,
So,
indeedy. Oh, look at that. Ellen's here.
She is.
Yes. Hey, girl. How you doing? Jamie Wilhite. How you doing? You were looking. I could see it. Jody Knapp. Let's give her all a nice clap. JP Travel and Adventures. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. Flamingo Chicken Don Chance is here. Beloved moderator. How you doing? Did I miss anybody? Karen Griswold, glad to have you. Kevin Brubaker, always the troublemaker. Kevin, you know you counts in this place, that's for sure. I'm looking forward to his upcoming adventures. I know he's been waiting a long time to get on one of those opulent cruises that he does, and I'm looking forward to seeing him and Sir Henry Cavill out there doing their thing on the high seas. Kevin Simmons, how you doing, buddy? We're down to the top 2 songs in the countdown from 100. Kevin has so graciously proctored, curated a top 100 yacht rock list in our Facebook group, which you should join if you haven't already. Lots of things going on over there, lots of fun interaction, and that's where you'll find the news that you need when you need that news a little bit later than other places.
I should have asked you if you need beer.
Well, I've got a drink here, so I can hold off a moment.
Okay.
But
Your assistance.
Kevin Simmons, let me go ahead and open that for you. Glad to have you,
Thank
Kevin.
you.
Christian Henry. It's been a while. Leanne Frasika Palamagan. Welcome, Miss Fragama man. Leanne Francisconi, scone number 1. The scone of all scones. Glad to have you. Linda Cusiak, luscious Linda from Canada. Linda Land, not to be confused with Lady Lou. You know I got my eyes on you.
Lindy Land, she ain't bland.
Ooh. Lindy Land, she ain't bland. Playing in the sand. Lisa Ragsdale.
Oh, what Mrs. Doodle's in the house.
And of course, let us not forget the mother hen. And why is it that I can never find the mother hen's graphic? I don't know. But we'll just say
Got
this.
too much on there.
If you mess around in the chat, this is what you're going to get from the mother hen and Pam. Shkabam! All up in your chat. You know what I'm saying? Welcome, Liz. Glad to have you. It bothers me, though. It always just disappears for some reason. Heaven's sakes. Margie Butcher, glad to have you. Marty Party. Stanley
The Marty Party.
is in the place. Mary Ellen Dillon. Meg W. Michael. Yeah, Anto Giovanni Framagioso. Welcome to the Ship Show. Glad to have you. Najuma Brown, as always, you know we love you, girl. Nautical, naughty. Nurse Nancy. Glad to have you, girl.
Hello to you and Anthony.
You guys having a good night?
Yes! Hey! Hi, you guys!
That's all I needed to hear.
Me too.
Okay. I mean,
I can hear her.
I heard you the first time there, Bep.
She's yelling that all the way
Oh,
across
man.
the lake.
We
I know. Okay,
have
Nancy. Well, we'll get back to you in here in a moment.
We had
Love you, Nancy. Tell Anthony that we said hi.
I saw a message welcoming Nick as new to the coop.
Oh, Nick Swice. Always nice to have you here at the Ship Show.
Welcome, sir.
Welcome to the Ship Show, and for that, we'll just go ahead and say, here's a dance on us, free of charge. No
I'm sure
whammies.
that's exactly what he wanted.
Yes. No Whammies is here. Welcome, Offbeat Travelers, Puppy, the Cat, Richard Zollner, Richard Z.
Z-Man.
The Z-Man, riding the Z car. Riding with Larry.
Mr. Brandhorst, hello, sir.
Don't get too hairy. Rhonda Carney. She's got, never mind. Scott McNeil, how you doing, buddy? See the World with Chris. Check him out, YouTube. See the World with Chris. Selena Shost. There's a new name. Welcome. Sharon
hello,
at
Selena.
Sea Travel. It looks like our guest knows Selena because I see him woot, in the side of my eye.
Salina y los Dinos.
Selena, welcome to the Ship Show. I don't know if you know what you got yourself into, but it's not too late to bail. I'm just saying.
Come on now.
Just kidding. Just kidding. Sean Murphy, how you doing? Shauna Snow, glad to have you. Spikers Crazy Adventures. I'm going to drink some wine here in a minute in the glass that y'all sent me. Tara Kelly, never smelly. Tess Almond, how you doing, girl?
Hello,
We had a little
Tess.
fun with Tess in the Sharon at Sea Cruise Group, if you know what I'm saying.
Just cruising.
Yes, she was.
Glory.
And they had a special night on board.
Glory.
Yes.
Good morning, Glory.
I'm not going to say. There was a special name for the evening that they had.
Oh.
Tony Jackson. Action Jackson in the place.
Yes.
Glad to have
Always
you.
getting action.
Trevor McCockler. How you doing, buddy? TX Pepito, and last but not least, Tyrone Mitchell. And I do believe we got a super chat from Tyrone.
Hey.
Thank you. It's Tyrone. He
Thanks,
was in
buddy.
the intro. We begocked with him several times.
Yep, we did.
Tyrone, seriously, buddy. Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you,
You've just
sir.
blown our mind over here. You've blown our mind. Doing good, Rooster, says Trevor. Good. Thank you.
I love that. I'm actually using it in a LinkedIn post for work.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. So listen, we're back here in the chat. We're glad you made it. I don't think we should dilly-dally. I don't think we should squirrel. Think it's time. You're welcome, Nick Swice. We're glad to have you. Join the Facebook group, buddy. Let's just get to our guests. What do you say? We have a very, very special guest. Should we just bring him in? Do we introduce them?
I mean, I'd like to say they were there.
They were there.
'Cause
They
they
were
were.
there. But okay, so let me just give a little formal introduction before I bring him in here. So David and Holly are good friends. Hung out with them in Tampa. Been communicating with them quite a bit since. Consider them friends of mine, friends of the show, friends of ours, and super excited to find out when they said, "Hey, Rooster, we're coming on this cruise." And it was last minute almost. It was pretty much last minute. And they got on the cruise with us, and then things happened. They ended up getting quarantined very early in the cruise and were quarantined to their room the rest of the trip. And we want to bring them on to tell their story without any interruption. Let them tell us what's going on.
They're still in their room on the Norwegian Breakaway. That's where they're coming live from.
They're stuck there. We don't know for how much longer. But let's bring them in. Let's talk to them. Everybody, give a nice round of applause for our special guests.
David and Hollywood.
David and Holly, how you guys doing?
Hey now.
Good.
Thanks for coming on. We're so glad to have you.
Thanks
It's
for having us.
right when I started the intro, York's like, "Oh, great, you're going to put him through this with that big video of everybody having a good time and stuff." York's like, "Oh, real nice. You're just putting him through this, huh?"
And then there's
But
just
we're
David.
on the end. We're at the end of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just at the
I know.
end.
I know. Well, that was by design. I wanted you guys to be the last thing that people saw in that video because it made me sad every time I thought about it. It really, truly did. But like I said, this is our friends David and Holly, and they were on the group cruise. But
Well, they got to enjoy New York City a little bit.
yes,
Hang out with the group. We got to see them quite a bit. And then was it day 3 on the cruise? Sea day 2?
I think it was 2.
Sea
The,
day 2, right?
the rooster relay.
in the middle of the rooster relay.
Right at the very end. After
Yep.
the shots were done.
How did that all go down? So what happened? You guys were just out there with the group, minding your own business, and then what happened?
So then, so Dave was mingling with a couple. I had to use the restroom. I came out of the restroom, found my handsome man, and so right when I saw his face, I feel like I was trying to reconnect in the conversation, and I got a tap on the shoulder in security dressed in white that said Mrs. Wirt with a question, and she had my picture with my face on it, and I said yes. She goes, "Please come with me."
And they had my picture as well too, so
And so she
we're
goes,
together.
"Is Mr. Wirt over there?" And I said yes. And right away, I don't even know how to explain it. I felt like walls were just, my right and left ear just went kind of muted.
Sure.
Because Dave and we cruise Norwegian all the time, and this has never, ever, ever happened. So just we got muted. Dave was like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "I don't know." And
Well, should
do
I start
we
back from the beginning?
Do we start now or?
Well, you can
You know.
start wherever you want because, like I said, this is your story to tell, and we want to hear it from your point
Well, I
of view.
want to tell you, when we did see...
Did you see it?
I was kind of watching this happen.
Yeah.
And they were showing pictures and looking for people, obviously. And what actually we thought at first was that maybe you got in trouble for running in the rooster relay.
That's what I
Dave
thought.
That's what Dave thought because he
Because
was
of the
running.
rooster relay.
With the rooster relay, right when I drank that drink, that the
Matador.
Matador drink, I hauled ass and I had my sandal flip-flops on. The front of them got caught on my toe, and I fell face first on the rug, but kept running, you know. And Dave,
Oh, that's
after,
commitment.
Yeah. I tried for the team, you know.
Yeah.
So I guess how this all first started was on our first night. So we got on the ship Sunday. Monday was like our first kind of free-for-all, do what we wanted to. And we decided to do a show It was a dinner and a show, and it was like a Circus Soleil kind of show, kind of thing.
Velvet,
which
right?
I'm sorry.
Velvet.
Yes, Velvet. Yeah,
Velvet.
So we've kind of seen something similar because this is the third time we've been on that ship, and going to Bermuda all 3 times too. So the show, you have to give your dinner first, and then you got to watch the show. So after we got our food and ate, we sat at a long table, kind of in the middle. It sat, I don't know, 10, 12 people. And we sat at one end of the table by ourselves. And at the other end of the table was another 2 women at the far other end. Want to do the next part?
Yep. So Dave and I felt we cruise a lot with Norwegian. We always cruise Norwegian unless it's Royal Caribbean, which we've
You're
done only twice. Norwegites, yes. But we've done 8 or 9 or 10 Norwegians. This show, the entertainment and dinner part of the show, they always encourage and they seat you with other people. So they sat us with, like Dave said, the daughter and mom. Dave and I were at the other end of the big table, and we were introducing ourselves. You know, we were good. We felt good because 2 months ago we did another cruise with Royal Caribbean, and the whole entire time, every time we sat at dinner, we sat by ourselves. Every time we sat at a entertainment thing, we sat by ourselves, especially like the evening shows.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So we felt fine sitting, you know, over here and over here. So halfway into it, this man comes in and is seated by another server. And I looked right at Dave and I said, I'd rather just go sit at a booth out back of here.
Just a single guy.
Because now I'm like, he's not right up, you know, he's not right up our butt, but he's in the middle of our shit. Oh, sorry.
I'm good
And the server said, I'm sorry, but your food's going to be served and the show's going to be starting. And if we knew what was going to go down, then I would have just said, you know what, I don't feel comfortable, and walked out. But we're on a ship that's encouraging no masks, sitting together, mingling, and everything like that. So we just made the most of it.
So about halfway through the show, after we're done eating, security comes in quietly and whispers something into this guy's ear. And the next thing we know, he's escorted out.
Just gone. Didn't even say bye, nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
Right in the middle of the show. So we're like, that's kind of weird. And then we kind of forgot about it, watched the show, did the rest of our night, and then the next day hung out with you guys. So.
After the relay race, the same, it was like deja vu, but that didn't even, York, when you saw us being taken away, that man didn't even cross my mind. The first thing that crossed my mind, and I even said it, there were 2 security people. You know, because I have my kids at home. It's just my husband and I on vacation together like we do twice a year. And I said, are my kids okay?
Yeah.
Like, what the heck?
So then they
no
reassured
answer.
us.
No answer.
Uh-huh.
They said it has nothing to do with your kids.
No, but they didn't. They didn't. They said, just follow us. There's going to be someone going to your room, and we will talk about it when we get to your room. So someone followed us to our room, and we had two security people in back of us following us to our room, and still didn't answer my question if my kids are okay, which was not okay.
Yeah.
We get to our hallway, and I was struggling with my card just because my mind was just
racing.
Your little thing. And the lady goes, it's not concerning your children. So but why didn't they just pull me aside and tell me that at the beginning?
Right.
I
right.
don't know. I don't
There's
know.
some
It was like
tact-
the
there's some
longest
tact
5
that
minutes in
could've-
the friggin' world.
Yeah, they could have used a lot more tact there in that situation.
Yeah. So right when they confirmed that my kids were okay, right away she goes, "Do you know what this is concerning?" And I said, "Is it the man from the restaurant last night?" And she goes, "Yes." And right then and there, I had peace of mind that my kids were okay. And then second of all, right when I had that kind of clarification, okay, life is good, it got taken away instantly because I knew we were screwed.
Without them even saying anything, you just knew.
No, they didn't.
So,
Yeah.
They said they couldn't say anything to us. They said just stay in your room and wait for a phone call.
30 minutes. 30 minutes.
Yeah, 30 minutes,
The
someone will call you.
medical team is
Yeah.
going to make a phone call to you, and you need to answer it.
And mind you, while all of this is going on, we don't have a clue, right? So we saw the whole thing go down, and we didn't
Correct.
know. And it was actually hours before we could actually hear from you.
So I turned, after I asked if my kids were okay, I turned around and I said, "We're with 60 plus people. Can I let them know that we'll be back?" "No, keep walking."
Oh,
Wow.
I'm like, what did we really, Dave thinks we ran too fast.
Yeah.
My mind is just thinking, oh my God, something is matter with my kids, my family. I have my mom on an emergency contact. My dad isn't in great health. My mind, you don't even want to know what was going in my mind.
sure.
Was not good.
Yeah.
Just pull me aside and reassure me.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions about this? I will
Yeah.
quietly answer them, and then let's proceed to your room. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. It was crazy.
So then
Oh.
after that, so they took you back to your cabin. And by the way, I just want to mention that tonight, in your guys' honor, we will be drinking the wine that you sent me home with in Tampa. And I do believe this is the Sauvignon Blanc that you made, right?
Yeah.
You guys
That
made
they
this?
made
Yeah.
themselves.
Yes. So we're gonna enjoy some of this while we
Awesome.
talk to you.
Enjoy.
And looking forward to it. Let me pour you some there, Doodle Reenie.
Thanks, Jeeves.
You're welcome. No problem. Okay, so
They're waiting for this phone call now.
right. So you got
And you're just crapping your pants, right? Or you,
So
you kind of knew, right?
So right then I knew, and when I get upset, I don't scream, I don't yell. I feel like I don't scream and I don't yell.
No.
I get really quiet, really freaking quiet. And
And she's never quiet.
I'm never quiet. And Dave's always super, super positive. It's going to be okay. If we have to be quarantined, it's only going to be for
Well, you're getting too
24
far ahead now.
hours. Yeah.
So they said wait 30 minutes or roughly for the phone call. And it ended up taking, I want to say 5 minutes, maybe.
It was quick.
Maybe 10. And it was the medical team, whoever it was. And they said, "Do you know why you're in the room?" And I said, "We had a guess what happened." And they said, "You're correct. So that guy tested positive for COVID." And they told us his name, which I thought was kind of weird. But
Sure.
anyway, we kind of knew his name when he introduced himself sitting at the table anyway. They said, "Well, so he's quarantined, and now you need to be quarantined because of what happened. You being in close proximity of him."
yeah.
So unfortunately, okay, so what does that mean? They said, "Well, you have to stay in your room. What we're going to do is end up switching your rooms because we always get an inside room because it's cheaper and we're just there to sleep and shower and have fun outside." So they said, "We're going to move you to another room, which is a balcony room, and it has special HEPA filters and filtration, whatever it is, that has better purification for us potential COVID people." So that's what they did. So we'll give you an hour and a half to pack all your crap.
No, 40 minutes.
Well, we did it in 40 minutes.
Yep.
But they said an hour and a half, and then we'll come get you
See.
and we'll escort you to your new room on a whole different floor. So we were on 8 and we were up to deck 12 or 10. I don't remember. So we packed up, called them up and said, "Yeah, we're ready to go." and they escorted us through the staff
crazy,
elevators, not even
crazy.
through the hallways, some private back behind the scenes
Yeah.
area so no one could see us.
And every time,
Yeah.
so we go through a hallway. Wait, no, before we get to a hallway, they say, clear, bring us through a hallway. Wait, it was like not a kitchen, but it was kind of like where baggage is put there.
Yeah.
Like we saw the baggage area.
Sure.
We walk, they open up the door, and we hear clear, and we're able to go again. Like we don't even know where we were. All the inside underneath everything, that's where we were taken.
Right. Well, 1 second. I don't mean to interrupt, but I did want to mention I see a lot of great questions coming up in the chat.
Yeah.
And I want you guys to continue with your story, and then we'll get to them. So some of you guys who have some really good questions here, please hold on to them. I'm watching them. I'm watching them as they go through, but please save your questions because we're going to get to that, and we'll answer as many as we can when we're done here. But anyway, I'm sorry. Yeah.
When they're leading
okay.
you, I mean, is it security or is it medical staff? What are they
Medical
wearing? Is it just
now,
people
right
with a
now?
mask?
So
It was like one of each.
Yeah. So right now it's medical staff that was bringing us.
And security was on the walkie-talkie, making
So-
sure the hallway was cleared before we left the
Yeah.
next hallway.
So the medical team called us to let us know, and then it's honestly kind of a blur because I remember the medical team moving us, taking our temperature. I don't know if we had to do a COVID test then.
No, that's a whole.
Okay, that was a different
that's
day.
Far ahead, yeah.
Recording our temperature, and then they brought us through all masked up.
Right. Right.
So then we get into our room.
But they didn't make us mask up, which is weird, but
Right, yeah.
whatever.
So we get to our room, and
And it
probably within a minute, we got a knock on the door, handing us an envelope, and more explanation saying, "We're sorry you've been exposed. These are some phone numbers you can call. There's a phone number for food,
Oh, yeah.
a phone number for guest services. There's like 3 or 4 different phone numbers. You can just call. And since we had the drink package and we had specialty dining, which we didn't have a chance to use yet, they said you can use all that stuff on board and it's all free, because we already prepaid for it. Just make a phone call and you get it delivered to your room.
So his name was he was awesome. And he was like our personal kind of, I don't want to say butler, but our personal server.
Yeah. He was your COVID butler.
He was, and he
COVID
was
Jeeves.
he was awesome. So all these panics. Okay, so the medical doctor, as he called himself, and he was, right when you're unsure of something, how you just hear something and then jibber jabber something.
Yeah.
Just tell me it, And I said, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude, because he was going on and on and on and on and on. And I watched other YouTubers, because when cruising first started back up after the pandemic, I talked to Dave and I said, you know what? We're going to be one of those unlucky mother effers that have to be quarantined to our rooms. And he's like, no, you know how very slim to nothing that is? That was what?
I would have said the same thing.
3 or 4 months ago. Now we're into here, and we got dealt the wrong friggin' card because we were one of them.
So we figured it out. It was a 1% chance that we were sitting with that guy.
Yeah.
1%. That's it.
And we were asked to move.
We asked to move.
Like, I don't understand. But moving on from that, so everything was just not making sense. And then we're in our rooms looking at each other. And this man is like my best friend in the whole entire world. Like, I love him to pieces. I could be in a room with him for a whole entire week. I could, if we planned it that way.
Right.
But to know that we spend, it's not, I don't want to say it's not just the money. It's not the money, but to have our mind know that we took time off of work, arrangements for our kids, money that we spent. And like you said, John, I want to say it was 2.5, 3 weeks before the ship left that we decided to hop on with you guys.
So we
right?
did with you last minute. Yeah.
It was that quick. And to just have it all be taken away that quick.
Yeah, it's something I could have never imagined. And honestly, I couldn't, I would never know, and I wouldn't want to speak to it, but I have to think that I'm just curious how often, because we were tested twice at the port, right? I'm just curious how often somebody comes up negative at the for the rapid test they give you there, and then then in turn turns out to be positive a couple days later when those results come back. I have to imagine that's another thing that you would have thought, listen, we've all been vaccinated. We've all tested prior to this. We all got tested twice prior to getting on board.
Right.
At some point you have to think, and I mean, obviously common sense would tell you that things can slip through the cracks and stuff like that, and however that works. But to get a negative and then a positive on two tests taken, almost simultaneously, it just, I'm sure the odds of that are quite slim as well. And, but so now by this point you're in your room, right?
So we're in our rooms, and it hits me that, so I interrupted the doctor and said, just tell us how it is, without beating around the bush. And I said, our vacation is legit over, correct? And he goes, I'm sorry to say, yes, ma'am. And I just looked at Dave, because Dave just saves the day always, because he's way more positive than me.
So what I was hoping was, so they said, okay, so in 3 days, you're going to get retested again. And I'm thinking, okay, 3 days, we had no symptoms. And, we know we don't have it.
Which is supposed to be Thursday evening.
So I'm thinking, we still got maybe 2 days left. We can have fun and socialize. And
he cut us off.
He said, no, you cannot. I said, okay, so I guess the other part is it's supposed to be 3 to 5 days. I'm like, let's go on the long end, on the 5 days, so we have maybe half a day at the end, which would be Saturday, the day before. And they said, still no, you cannot, no matter what, leave your room until you get back to New York. So then my hopes got crashed, and it was bad from there. So
we just kind of look at each other like we're in just silence, and I just want to hang up with the doctor because the doctor is telling us nothing but bad news. We hang up with him, and
then we call the bar.
We call the bar. Yes. Where's that? How's the vino?
Excellent, y'all.
Good.
It's fantastic.
Good.
Cheers. Very good.
Very, very good. I'm not.
We're drinking espresso martinis.
Oh yes.
I'm going to tell you, I don't really usually like the Sauvignon Blanc. Sometimes it tastes like asparagus to me, and I don't like that. But this is tasty.
This is the white wine my wife and I drink. So
good.
It's delicious.
I'm glad you like it.
Yeah.
Nice. Yep. So we just kind of looked at each other, and I tried to think as positive that we could, and we just tried to get all our ducks in a row. So what they told us was, you're going to be having a staycation in your room for almost a full 6 days.
Yeah.
They tried to make it sound fun and exciting.
So you're getting to what could you do versus what you couldn't do.
Correct. So
right. At least they didn't give us the flyers. What happens every day? That's good.
Because So
then you're like, oh, what are we missing? So we got to see the newlywed, not so newlywed show. And then they replayed that 100 times on the ship.
And I couldn't watch it.
You got to see Nancy Plack, and
we did.
But we saw that live. We saw it live the night before.
You're right. Okay. Yeah.
That was at least one thing we got to do. So.
Yeah, but every time it came on the TV, it made me cry. So we just didn't watch that anymore.
Yeah.
But I want to say during all this whole process, the positive stuff with it is NCL really treated us really, really good. Mm-hmm. Without hesitation or anything. So the drinks with the alcohol package, you don't need to show your card because they know who you are. And they said, I want to order 4 glasses of wine. I want 2 Jack Honeys and whatever you wanted. And they bring it on a tray all at one time.
Yeah.
So you don't have to wait for drinks.
Because our mind was going to, okay, I can't even I can't believe we can't remember his name because he was so awesome.
Yeah.
I felt like we were just going to be pains in the asses. You ready for this? So we open up our balcony. Okay, so we open up our door where we have the inside room before. We open up our balcony. We go out, and I hear the same giggle I heard at the
That's right.
friggin' table that we got sat to
I forgot.
the night before.
Yeah.
And I'm like, knock, knock, knock on her wall. She knocks back. So you know how the walls are like kind of thin?
Yeah.
I knock, she knocks back. Dave pokes his head, opens up his door, because we could be really arrested now. We're opening up our door. He opens up his door. He looks to the right of him, finds because we don't even know what number we're at because we got moved from a different
Somebody's
floor
saying
to
his
a
name
different
was
floor.
Jasper. Joe Smith is saying
Yeah.
Jasper.
Jasper, yes,
Joe
yes.
Smith. Joe Smith.
It's
Yeah,
yes, yes.
So let me interrupt you. Hold on. So the balcony, that whole row was quarantined people.
Yeah.
Joe
that we
Smith
found out.
is a friend of mine who was
Way
right next to us
down.
who was quarantined.
Joe Smith?
Yes.
He was way down
No.
there. Okay.
So Joe Smith
Correct.
is right next to us, and he's the guy I smoke the cigars with outside.
Oh, that's Smith. Okay.
Right to
Yeah.
our right.
He's confusing me.
So
So,
so he knows he was quarantined as well. So anything he says is legit too.
right.
He wasn't at our dinner table. There was another positive case.
Yes.
One member of his group, his family member, was positive. That's why he was quarantined. You go out to dinner with your family, you're still exposed. So we just had the crap in with a stranger.
So the whole rest of the cruise, we were able to go out on our balcony and still communicate with other unlucky bastards like us.
Yeah.
So
And
the
as
girls,
I
she
recall, not to interrupt, but as I recall, when we did Cigars Under the Stars, this happened.
Woo!
Am I correct there? That
At
was
the same
happening.
time.
Yep.
That's amazing. I just got to say it, and the rules be damned. I don't blame you. Gummit.
Yep.
It's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah. So I want to make sure I was kind of part of the team, but not part of the team, And,
Yeah.
Took a picture of that.
That's great. That is
And
great.
I was definitely sleeping away the cruise.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I
she
know
figured
I spoke with you guys a few times on the phone, and I could tell how upset you were, especially at first, and then it kind of, each time it maybe got a little better, and then
Better.
then when you got home, you were like, you're still a little upset, but then you guys messaged me, and then at one point you said, well, it was a total ship show. See, I'm feeling better,
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
it took a while, but yeah. So okay, so you were allowed to have drinks and stuff, and the food was just carte blanche, right? Whatever you wanted.
Whatever we wanted.
Well, we had 3 specialty dinings each.
Oh, you still
So-
had to. You still had
Yeah,
to
we still have
abide
to
by
use
the
them. There's no
specialty,
refund.
Yeah.
So some night, Holly would get one restaurant, and I would have a different restaurant. If she wanted sushi, and I had Italian.
Yeah.
So we could eat what we wanted still. It's kind of nice. It came up quick, but it wasn't really the best food because it was kind of cold.
It's cold.
Getting served,
And so-
4 floors away, whatever. So
Yeah.
And so our server got used to us because at first I was
Free of the words.
we're fancy people, yo. Dave and I. We're very
Ship show
fancy.
classy.
Ship show classy. Okay. So they don't know us. They just know, okay, these poor bastards are in this room. We're just going to feed them food and bring them their vino, So, here comes Mrs. Wirt. Why am I being served with a plastic fork and a paper plate? That's what they were
why
serving us.
serving us wine in a plastic cup.
No.
And
That
paper
ain't
cups
no
of
fine.
coffee for breakfast.
No.
So I'm like, I'm keeping these other mugs. I'll wash them myself.
Yeah. So we did our own dishes for a little bit.
Yeah.
And we said, I hate to be a bother. I understand you might think we have tested positive for COVID because we're still waiting for the results. Please just bring us a martini glass, a tumbler, and a wine glass, each our own, like our own plate and our own silverware, and we'll wash them ourselves. Please. I cannot be eating on styrofoam dishes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
no.
Right. I mean, it's bad enough. I know exactly how you feel. I mean, I take that back. I do not know how you felt in that moment, but I do know what you mean about
Settling.
A honey bourbon drink, a honey whiskey drink in a plastic cup ain't gonna fly.
No.
Well, they're almost
Right.
making you feel like anything you touch, they're going to incinerate.
Yes.
It's like,
Because,
you know,
right, because out of our room was a biohazard bag.
that whole hallway.
So if we were to open our room, that's what they made us put our stuff in. So
so do you guys
Not,
have
not
any
to
idea?
mention,
Go ahead.
I'm gonna
Sorry.
say, not to mention, when you open the door to grab the supplies, I guess you'd call it, I look up at the ceiling, and there's a camera one door away.
yeah.
So we couldn't even try to sneak out if we wanted to.
Yeah.
So they were watching us pretty freaking close.
Yep. So I had a freak out moment because I'm like, I'm on vacation. We paid this money and I'm doing my own dishes. We need to like.
Yeah.
But
Joe Smith
they
says he got a steak without a steak knife. Now, come on.
Yeah. Like really? Even though we're sitting eating in our bed with no bra on in our jammies, give me a fucking steak knife, yo.
Well, well,
Sorry.
no.
I'm sorry.
Talk
I'm
freely.
sorry.
Talk the way
It's-
you talk.
I'm
Talk the way you
sorry.
Listen,
No
just-
apologies
it-
needed.
Don't apologize.
I was
we don't
curi-
want to
Sorry.
throw you
It
off your
doesn't
game.
sit-
You just keep going.
I was
It
curious.
doesn't sit well with me.
So I think to
don't
go back a
blame you.
little bit is when she was knocking on the wall, the two girls, they're the ones sitting at the table with us at the other end,
Yeah.
and they had the next room next to us, so we could actually talk with them.
Yeah.
And they told us how they felt and their experience and all that as well. So
Wanda wants to know why Dave didn't have his bra on.
Yeah.
well, you would know if I could participate in the battle nips.
Ah.
So, do you guys have any idea then how many of you were quarantined, or about how many rooms full of people?
Yeah.
I'm guessing about a dozen people,
Okay.
I heard 15 to 16.
and I only know of 2 positive cases, so that's all I know of for sure.
Well, so one thing, there could have been people elsewhere too, for all we know. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, yeah.
Yeah, so we the guy who actually was positive, he was on the same balcony. So we're outside talking to each other, and this other guy pokes his head off the balcony 10 doors down. He's waving at us frantically. Like,
And-
hi.
And I gave him the bird.
But we recognize his face. I'm like, oh, it's him. He's the one that ruined our vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah, Holly let him have it.
I want to say he was 10 balconies
At
down.
least, yeah.
Well, we saw, I think it was next day or the day, maybe it was twice after. Remember, we saw security walking around with pieces of paper again, and everyone
Yeah.
was like,
Everyone's scattered.
it's like, oh yeah,
Head for the
everyone's
hills.
Right?
Yeah.
I had one guy, I saw one guy jokingly, he's like, oh crap, there's the white shirts. Everybody run.
Yeah. Seriously.
And I know, just you guys sharing your experience, I know a lot of folks ended up canceling the Velvet show. And
We did.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
did.
Okay. So the way I feel like this all could have been prevented, and I'm always about preventing anything, especially
Sure.
when you're on vacation, especially when you're dealing with people's emotions, anything like that. And again, I didn't think about it, even though it seems like a no-brainer, I guess, because it takes, the 2 days for the second test to come in. You sit with the people, you just sit with family. You don't sit with anyone else until after that period. And then that everyone's results came back
Yes.
and we're in the clear.
Someone
Hindsight,
brought that
yeah.
up in the
So-
chat.
If we waited just one more day,
One more day.
Yeah.
So why didn't they encourage at the Velvet Show to just
Separate.
why did they seat us and we couldn't sit ourselves?
Yeah.
Every
I wonder
day.
if they may have taken that as a lesson learned at this point. I don't know.
I hope
It's
so.
hard saying, but
I hope
it's
so.
it's worth noting. And
Yeah.
we had intentions of filling out our our survey
Comment cards?
tonight on live on the air. Maybe we'll do that next week, and maybe that's something we'll mention.
Yeah. Because I feel like it just, I don't want to be dramatic, but there's some days where I just feel like, it is what it is and everything happened for a reason.
Right.
But then there's other days where I'm like, I'm just so pissed and emotional. Like this could have been prevented. And I wish I stuck to my instinct and just got up and left. We would have been out, $49?
Yeah.
For the 2 tickets if we just up and left because we felt uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so to go back, I mean, I don't want to make this all negative.
No, because it was a lot of positive.
So yeah,
in the
a lot
room.
of the positive, like they said, the food was, right on top whenever we wanted it. The drinks were right on top. They said, as an apology, kind of like because I know our vacation was ruined, we'd have unlimited free movies.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else would have paid $10 per movie.
Internet too?
No.
Well, we didn't get that far.
No internet at all.
So just movies. And on cruises, Holly and I put our cell phones in the safe. The whole cruise. We don't use them at all. So if they wanted to give us internet, we wouldn't have used it anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of that case. But we did ask because we wanted to watch some of the live streams,
Yeah.
That
We wanted to feel
Nancy was going to do and, you were going to do on Wednesday night. And they said, well, you'd have to pay for that. I'm like, well, forget that. So
Yeah. They gave us complimentary calls to home, which normally it would be a fee.
Yeah.
It was nice
Yeah.
too because the
And
first
not a cheap fee. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we were able to call our kids and be like, "Are you sitting down for this? Guess what's happening, Mom and Dad?"
right. They gave us complimentary laundry.
Yep. Because
So that was pretty nice.
every time we travel, we always dress to the T. We always like to dress fancy. I want to say I probably packed, no joke,
Oh, yeah.
2 outfits that were comfy, and I kept recycling them in my bed. So those were washed. And I still have my luggage bag packed with all my fancy stuff in my bedroom that I haven't even put away. All nice and clean, not even touched.
Ready for your next one.
I never took a vacation. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're
I could
packed
take them out.
ready to go. I love it.
Oh my God. Seriously.
Hey,
Like
let me give you a
John
pro
and-
tip with that. If that's what you're going to do, go ahead and get yourself some of those bounce fabric softener sheets.
Yeah.
Throw about 10 of those inside your suitcase.
Right.
Zip it up and
Yeah.
let that marinate in there for a while. When you get on your next cruise, everyone will be like, "Man, you smell good."
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Anyway, just a little pro tip here from the ship show.
I should take it out though, because I feel like they're kind of squished funny.
Joe Smith says I stayed naked except for when I was talking to Dave. Naked is the best comfy clothes.
There we go.
Very
Good
comfortable.
job, Joe.
Yep. That was our
Joe
roomie,
was
right?
naked in his cabin.
To the left.
The only time he got dressed when he's talking to Dave. Or so he says. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to make
amazing.
light of it, but we're
No,
friends
but-
here and we love
Yeah,
you guys and
We're to that point where you can now. I'm okay with it.
Past the upset, crying, yeah.
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 It is
Do you
what
have-
it is. We can't.
Do you have, has this experienced, I mean, you guys already experienced cruisers. Has it soured you on the cruising at all?
So I'm glad you asked that. So on our first full day on Monday, we went to Next Cruise.
Oh yeah.
And we love Norwegian and we do it all the time. We might as well give them some money and get our deposits ready for next time. So we have 8 more pre-booked. So soiled, no.
So the answer is no. Okay, good.
No, you have 4 years to use them. So
But when we were sitting in our room when this first happened, because granted that was the first day when it happened, hearing all the announcements over the loudspeakers. So every time you guys got an announcement, we heard it too.
Yeah.
So, which pissed me off.
I bet.
Unless they said, I'm sorry, but we can't dock into Bermuda. I was like, bummed for you guys, but I was like, that's my favorite place in the world. You better not be going there yet.
Yeah, we were happy you couldn't get on land. Sorry, but
I'm
that's
so
honest.
sorry.
Oh, I
So
love it.
sorry.
No, actually, part of me was like, you know what? If they can't enjoy it, we shouldn't either. So
Good.
Yeah, and
But-
it's true. It is true. There were so many times during the cruise when I would find myself like, like not. I don't want to say guilty, right? But I didn't feel. It's not that I felt guilty, but there was always in the back of my mind that, oh my gosh, how much fun would Dave and Holly be having right now? You know what I'm saying?
And there was speculation
ton.
that there was speculation at first too. People were already making up their minds. Well, they can't have any alcohol, so we're already figuring out how to how can we get to
Yeah,
their
we were
door,
trying to be
knock
like
on their
cruise
door, and
gnomes.
bring a bunch of booze down there.
Yeah, we were trying to like slink by and just kind of like set some drinks down and go as we walk by, so you knew the code.
See,
And
that's
then of course you guys said to me, "Hey, listen, you guys are going to Bermuda. One of the things we really wanted was some
It's
of this
okay.
that Bermuda Blue cologne." And this is the truth. We only had a few hours there, and like we were racing around doing what we did. And as we were walking back to the ship, what do I see just right next to the ship on this big sign? Bermuda Blue cologne. And I'm like, oh, you dummy.
It's
And
okay.
I
You didn't get it?
contemplated. No, I contemplated racing back. I know. I contemplated racing back, but we only had 15 minutes, and I didn't want to risk it. And
You had to stop at the boner bar first,
we still
right?
had the boner bar. Oh my gosh! But okay, so you were allowed to eat, you were allowed to drink, and you were allowed to watch the movies. And thank God you guys love each other. You were good company. And really quickly, I do want to say thank you for the super chat to Party on the Sea.
Yes, thank you.
Much love. We appreciate that. And Kevin Brubaker donated. He said, Malort kills everything. Yes, I know.
Right.
But thank you, Kevin, for the super chat as well. Much love there.
You already mentioned it.
But okay, so you were allowed to watch the movies and stuff, and I imagine like
They
Like it was these kind of movies.
no, that's in Mexico. I kept asking about that. Nothing. Zippo.
Oh, they didn't even have those kind of movies available.
No.
Oh, Bermuda's too classy. I see.
Yeah. But they did the first night we did take a bunch of professional pictures and they let us have all of them for free.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Because
Well,
whenever you
let's
get
get to
pictures, you might as well take them, So
Yeah.
Oh, and then a really cool thing. You ready for this? You know how they gave a credit for everyone because
Yes.
you guys couldn't dock to Bermuda? So that
we got the same credit.
we got the same credit. So we had a personal shopper
Oh,
that
nice.
went around the ship for
So
us.
what are we going to do with this money we can't see to spend?
Right.
We can't go into a store to pick out items.
Yeah.
So we had an idea of what we wanted, and we talked to I already forgot the guy's name again, Jasper. And he says, you know what? I'll go to the gift store, take some pictures, send you the pictures, and you can pick and choose what you want, and then we'll take it off your credit.
That's great.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was so nice of them to do that.
That's cool.
Jaws says Malort killed his taste buds for hours.
Yeah, don't
I'm sure.
Okay, well, that is cool. That is cool that you were able to do that.
And then you know what? And that's always been, I think, an underlying truth about cruising is that is the crew that makes cruise a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show you, even in like an awful situation, there is some light and some good service that still did bad.
Yes. No, we didn't want to be peer runners, Lindy Land. That's right. But okay, so I mean, after all those days on board, we talked, and some people were able to come out and wave to you on occasion from down below, and that was great. And sometimes we couldn't because the seas were rough and they had all the doors closed and stuff. But I know that was pretty groovy. I know we talked about doing that, and that was one of the days when the doors were locked, but you couldn't get out on any of the decks that day.
So that's another negative con is you take a person that gets seasick.
Yeah.
Normally, normally Dave and I cruise in the
Caribbean.
because we're from Florida. We never cruise the Atlantic.
You never go north.
No,
Not anymore.
And when we do, like we've said, we've cruised Bermuda four times for Dave, 5 times for me. The same cruise. I'm always out of my room, always.
It's yeah.
And so I was green. I was so pukey green the whole time because I was stuck in my room. I couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
It sounds like Joe Smith had a little bit of a different experience. I'm not going to speak to it too much because I can't. It's hard to take from the chat because sometimes I misread things. But it sounds like other than Jasper, he wasn't getting a lot of help otherwise, and that's a bummer. But I know everybody's story or situation was different. I'm sure. So
maybe Jasper could tell how exasperated we were. You know what I mean? And with our tone of voice, like he'd tell we were royally pissed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. As far as I know, I think Joe said that was his first cruise he's done.
Oh my,
so,
Joe, I'm sorry, buddy.
know.
Joe, that's the worst.
That's not what it's like.
Yeah, I know. I kept telling him that.
Let's get Joe on the Sharon at Sea ship show. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, you're going out of Galveston.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. We'll wait for Holly to get back. But is there anything
Michelle
else?
says she wishes we could have tipped Jasper.
We did.
Okay.
We met him on the last day. We said we want to give you and your staff some gratuity. How are we going to do that? Are we going to be able to see your face? So on the very last day, he said, "Yeah, you can." And he came out with like 3 or 4 guys at the very, very end. And so we got, we didn't shake his hand or nothing, but we got to see him at least. And,
says she'd be in the break.
Bills.
Oh, that's nice.
I said, hey, make sure you split this up between y'all.
And, well, listen, I'm just glad that it wasn't a total loss because I can tell you guys this. From my experience talking to you guys and hearing the pain in your guys' voices on the phone when we talked, that you guys were adults about this in so many ways where I would have been a complete and total child. I would have been a mess. I would have lashed out. I would have been probably rude.
You and Kelly would have killed each other?
Kelly would have handled it much like you guys did, I think. But I would have been a complete disaster.
Oh, Mrs. Doodles would have lost her damn mind.
Yeah, I would have been a disaster. And I would be like, I don't know. I feel like I would have the whole time been conspiring my escape plan. Like I would have find out who was in the balcony below me and be like, all right, listen, if you see my sheet hanging down, just look the other way, okay? Like I that's what I don't know. I do have to commend you guys for the way that you dealt with it. It couldn't have been easy, and I gained another level of respect for you two for taking it the way, or not taking it the way you did, but for the grace in which you handled the whole thing, even though it was out of your control. That was pretty impressive. But I do want to know.
Yeah, it's not like the staff wants to do that to you anyway.
Yeah.
Right. So there's.
Right, Brian. I would have been devastated.
Yeah. Tough spot all around.
Well, let me ask you this. So when we got back to, I mean, unless there's more you want to talk about
that chicken
on the
suit
cruise.
would have been kind of self-contained.
No, because it's got an exhaust fan on it.
Oh, it's got an exhaust fan. Okay.
I'm sure there are things that the cruise line could have done differently in terms of like mask protocols, and I don't want to get into that here because
it's always shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, exactly. There are things that probably should have been done, could have been done to make it different. But is there anything else you want to speak to about the week as it went on?
I'm curious to be like, what happened as you got off the ship? Like,
right, that's what I was going to
Did they
say.
just release you into New York?
So, yes, you got it, York. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we could look down onto deck 7, which is where I believe everybody got off.
And can I interrupt real quick? So York, we saw, I feel like, because we saw and we know of many of you guys. So we saw many of you guys. We saw Daniel Fields,
Oh yeah, because we were on a big group together.
Sharon at
David,
Sea.
yeah. We all
all
got
of
off
you
at like the
guys.
same time.
We did not see.
We didn't
John.
see you. We didn't see York
We
or
saw
John.
We saw Nancy.
We saw Nancy, Anthony. They all waved. They all kissed us. I swear they took pictures
Oh,
of
we
us
were right
like we were
behind them.
weird celebrities, which we
Right.
weren't. But you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So we got
Yeah,
to watch
it was
everybody go
awesome.
off the ship.
and we made a point, but we didn't see you two at all.
Oh, we were with all them, remember? And then they kind of diverged us into elevators. They broke everybody
Okay.
up.
But everybody got off on 7, right?
Yeah,
We were on
but
the one gangway.
yeah, but to get to the gangway, some of us went through like stairwells that was for staff, and then some didn't. Like we were all just outside the
What
Haven.
he's trying
together.
to say is that he was with Bunta, and Bunta had a Haven room, so he got Jeevesed on out of there.
That makes
But
sense.
we were
then.
with Nancy. We were with Nancy and dancing.
We,
Oh, okay.
yeah, because we saw Nancy and Anthony. That's okay.
Yeah.
But you ready for this? It
So
was.
what
It was
time
bad.
did you guys get off the ship?
Yeah.
8:30.
We were a little bit later, probably about 9:30ish.
We're
Okay.
like 12:30.
Oh, wow.
They waited.
told us we had to be the last ones off of the ship.
You know what else they did before us? They took all the wheelchairs
Oh yeah.
from the cruise ship and put it to the port before we were taken off.
That was more
Wait.
important than us.
But they
They-
told us to be ready for 9:30.
Yeah.
9:30.
Oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, it was
But we're-
9:30 for us. Joni Beesky just confirmed that, but yeah.
Yep. So we waited and we waited and we waited and we waited. And we have a flight to catch. And we waited some more. We were finally called. We got the knock to our room. We opened up our door and they said, "It's time." And so we go out with our, with our
And then
Or
all of a sudden,
carry on.
Jasper's giving you hugs. No, sorry.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Jasper. So we finally met Jasper the night before.
We mentioned that. You're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went pee. Dave mentioned it. So they come,
So
say
they all
it's
come
time,
masked up, and we all leave our rooms together. We're all escorted.
but
Yeah.
what I will never, it will always sit this way, is they said it's time. We go to our rooms, and the man, he looked like the medical guy, said, "Just take them," not Mr. and Mrs. Wirt, not
Right.
Mr. and Mrs. Just take them. Come on, let's go. Let's take them.
Again, no tact. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we're like second class.
Well, I
Yeah,
think,
like we
I
did
think
something
that's
wrong.
the disconnect you deal with, and I don't think that's exclusive to just COVID. I can tell you from experience that our dealings with the medical staff on board the cruise ships pre-COVID were much. I don't want to say the same, but there's a different mindset there where they're not like there to necessarily their bedside manner. They're there for a specific purpose, and it's so businesslike that you almost lose the human connection there. So I can agree. I can tell where you're coming from.
Which I kind of get because we were, but so I appreciated the way they called us in the wing. Is we knew that the 3 groups of us that were called all tested negative. Okay,
Yep.
so they only specifically called that wing.
Okay.
Because I was telling Dave, I'm like, I work in the medical field. If they call us with that guy that tested positive, I'm not going. Like, no, you can't have me in the same, you know what I mean? We know too much. So I appreciated that they called us in that wing. So I knew we all tested negative. So I appreciated that. But
Michelle's
we
saying
have
they
names.
only took the positive people one room at a time.
Correct.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm certain that on some level, despite the fact that maybe things could have been handled differently, there was a lot of pressure on the medical staff on what are the optics of this and how are we going to handle this as far as, a cruise line and how this is done. So I think, at that point, a lot of the bedside manner just kind of disappears there as well.
But I feel like we almost went home with no luggage because they just said go. And our luggage was standing, those transportable carts.
Yeah.
Dave didn't notice it.
So as soon as we
Everyone
got
else-
onto the concrete,
Yes.
when there's policemen there before you get to customs, and they said, just go that way,
Go.
So we're going, and Holly's like, I
Our
think that was our
stuff-
luggage back
Our
there.
stuff is there.
So
we were almost out. You know where it says you cannot return into
Oh,
port?
yeah.
Don't exit. Don't return back in once you exit.
Yeah.
I'm like, Dave, our stuff was all up there. So all other 3 couples went back with us.
And their stuff was there too.
Does Mr. Smith remember this? Mr. Smith?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe.
Joe
Well,
Smith.
let me
And all
ask-
of our stuff was there. No one was there. It was up higher than Dave and I together. We couldn't get our stuff down.
But they didn't say, here's your luggage, now go leave.
Yeah.
So how would
Yeah.
if my eyes didn't notice it, how would we got back in
I didn't notice it.
yeah.
to get our luggage?
Well, yeah, and luckily you were able to get it. But what I thought, yeah, Joe says yes, that's correct. He
Yes.
remembers. I would like to, because we've been at it here for a little while. I would like to open it up because I truly have
Yeah.
seen some really good questions. Do you mind if we have some people ask some
No.
questions in the comments?
Yeah.
Because I think there's some good ones.
Well, I think the big one has been asked a million times.
Yeah. We'll
Right,
just go
right. We
ahead
haven't
and
got
ask
to that
for-
yet.
We'll go
What
ahead
is
and
it?
ask on behalf of everyone who's asked. But if you have questions, please drop them in the chat. But
We can save that one for the last one.
well, no, I
We
want
all
to
know
know.
which one that is.
Well, yeah, we can. I suppose we
What
can
if
wait.
there's a refund?
Or just
we-
what did they do?
Yeah.
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet. Okay,
Nothing.
so let's get there
Okay,
now, I
Did they
guess.
promise anything? What like?
No.
Okay, so when we first got there, we're trying to make a complaint. They said, okay, when you have internet and you get back on land, you need to file a claim through whatever website it is.
A claim submission.
Okay, so with ncl/submission/claim.com, whatever. So, yeah, I stole your drink. So we did that, and they said it's
Funny,
going to take
Kevin Brubaker. Sorry.
it takes 30 days to get an answer back. So they said, don't resubmit it, just kind of wait your turn. It took 1 week to get an answer back. I got an email back yesterday, and it said about their apology again. They said, we saw you got the extra insurance. They said you need to make a claim through that insurance claim instead. So okay, we already waited a week. So we went today to go online and make that claim, and you got to submit all this
Everything.
paperwork. There's so much receipts for everything,
So they want everything.
which
Our-
we haven't
our
done yet. But
Plane tickets, our hotel tickets, our
anything we
food,
spent,
everything.
they want to know your receipts, and then they're going to make a decision whether they get a refund or
Okay,
Pro
but
rating.
still-
I don't know
that's
what
the
they're gonna do.
insurance.
right.
Didn't do that, right? Norwegian
So
hasn't
NCL
done anything.
kind of passed us off to the insurance,
That. So I try to stay neutral, and we've talked about this. I've tried to stay neutral in certain regards, and I don't know. I'm sure somewhere in the fine print there's some stuff there, but I feel like as an act of good faith. And for the sake of optics at the very least, even though people are ready to cruise, whatever, they could have done something. Norwegian could have done something for you. So are you saying that they did nothing other than direct you towards
And they've been on what? Almost
claims.
10
Almost
we're
10.
already gold members with
10.
them. So
We're almost platinum.
Okay, I'm going to keep my comments to myself there, but that is some bullshit. Michelle Rothrick, yep, I submitted mine through insurance last week and haven't heard anything yet. I submitted mine before Dave and still haven't received a response. Dave sent me the link so I could go to the others. Yeah. I just feel like,
Yeah.
yeah, they
And-
should have done our claim before you got home, says Joe Smith, and that's
Yeah. There's internet on board.
I understand that there's inherent risks in the current environment when it comes to the cruise space, right? We all take that risk when we get on board the ship. And I totally understand that. But I mean, I feel like on some level there could have been even if it was just a good faith, like you, from my point of view, you shouldn't have had to pay the full price for the cruise because you didn't get the full experience. However,
We got New York. We got New York. That's it.
yeah,
Well, and even in okay, so yeah, you get to use your dining package, but part of that is also the experience of being in those restaurants
And the
Yes.
shows.
and the
And we
shows
got-
and getting
and-
warm, hot food when it's ready.
In York, we
to
got
get to
them in
hang out with
paper
your
plates
friends.
at the beginning. Paper plates at the beginning.
Yeah. Well, I feel like there's a good fight to be had if you know you're willing to do it, and I feel like Norwegian at some point is going to have to at least answer the question.
They're going to have to make a decision whether they're going to try and do something right or not.
Yeah, because I mean, from what I can tell, and by no means are we having you on here to call any cruise line or anyone else to the carpet, but I feel like you know, there's more stories much like yours that could be told that you know that would make Norwegian maybe kind of rethink what their strategy is when this happens to the people who in fact were negative and happened to be exposed based on the seating arrangements that were made.
Yes.
Now, I'm not going to speak to the seating arrangements because I don't know how all that works, but I just say this. It's not a good look. That's all I'm going to say. It's not a good look.
I mean,
and I honestly wish you
Who
guys the
knows?
best.
That dude could have been in the Sid's Poorhouse where it was nuts to butts every night, and who knows where he would have been?
Who
You
knows?
know what I mean?
Yeah.
You never
you
know.
Some people are saying, you know, that's the risk you take, and it's true. It is true, but there, you know, there's optics involved here, and I feel like there's things that could be said that or done based on the circumstances, and you know, we don't know all the circumstances, obviously, you know, but it is what it is, and quite frankly, it pisses me off, and I'm going to leave
It's
it at that.
shitty.
But you know what, guys? Truly, it was such a great time that we did have with you when we were together the short period of time. And I can't tell you, and I kept telling York leading up to this cruise, oh my God. And I knew there was going to be a lot of cool people, but I'm like, Holly and Dave are going to be on this cruise. This is going to just an extra cherry on top.
Someone
You know
else
what I'm
with
saying?
hats.
Yeah.
You know?
Dave's got style. Dave's likes the stogies. I knew we'd be vibing the whole week, and son of a bitch. And you guys couldn't be there in the hot tub with us. I don't mean to keep bringing up stuff you couldn't do, but for heaven's sakes, I'm mad.
Well, in
know.
true ship show fashion, we do have. This is a semi-serious question because it is the ship show. Have you guys taken a pregnancy test yet since you've been out?
Yeah, that's impossible.
Okay, there you go. Just had to ask.
He's
Had to
fixed.
ask. Yeah, me
And-
too, buddy. Me too.
Yeah. And I know that you guys made some friends, and I hope that you know this won't discourage you from whatever your next travels are.
No,
it
no.
won't be that's not going to have been the last time that we hang out with the Wirtz. That's for sure.
Yeah.
This is an interesting comment, though, Joe Smith. I knew there was a risk, but thought a multi-billion-dollar company would have ironed out procedures for this, and they should have immediately refunded us. No reason why they couldn't. And you know, I agree, but you know, the law sometimes is a kick in the tuchus.
So my biggest next question is, Dave and I will still always cruise,
Yes.
whether it be Norwegian or other cruise lines that have all their ducks in a row.
Right.
We already prepaid for 8 other cruises.
Yeah. With the
So
next
that's
cruise.
a whole other thing.
Right.
Well,
So
I just want you to know that York and I are not a bad luck charm here. Okay, so hopefully we can cruise again together, like soon, like real soon.
we're crossing our fingers.
can we expect you on the Norwegian Breakaway again in January of 2023? You know that's my 50th birthday on Embarkation Day.
Where are you guys going?
It's out of New Orleans, and it goes to Roatan, Half Moon Cay, and a couple other cool places. Okay, well, it's going to cool places, dang it.
I don't know. We always do last minute, so 2023 is too effing far away.
Yeah.
All right.
Probably.
Okay.
Because, yeah.
We got the credits for it.
Well, some
But
people are asking us
What other
to
questions
sing.
people have?
Oh, did you guys get any press or anybody contacting you to talk about this kind of stuff after the fact?
No.
Okay.
Kind
Just
of
curious.
Tony, but not really.
I saw Tony had I think a video come out that day. Or
Yeah.
the
That day,
after.
yeah.
I shared that with so many people.
Yeah, and we're still in our beds.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's something else. He knows.
I
what's
watch him
going on.
every day. Every
Yeah.
day. If he puts stuff out, I watch him every day.
Yeah.
Jaws says, good word of mouth travels slow, but bad word travels at the speed of light. That is true. And quite frankly, we experienced that on the cruise, and I'll just leave that at that, because that's a whole nother story.
Oh, yes.
Which has nothing to do with Jaws, mind you, but it just brought to mind some stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, when we get our,
It
I
was
wish we had some more of this.
I know we finished it, baby.
Yeah?
nice.
Woo!
Nancy Fields
Nice.
Give me
says
some of yours.
she wanted to say hi to you guys. She wanted to make sure that we said hi, because I know you guys had some hairdresser talk, as I understand
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I feel like it was a tease. And I'm so proud of myself that I wasn't like a big crying sap on this show. That's why I didn't want to do it last week. But I genuinely have been watching you guys, Sharon at Sea, Nancy, Nautical Nurse Nancy, Tony, Griffin, Alyssa, Cruise, I can never say it all together. Cruisers. Like,
think
all of you
Syracuse, Q's, cruisers.
You
Yes.
say it fast.
it's awesome. And I got like a tiny little taste of all of you. Like, even though John and I and Dave, we all met, but all of you other guys, we just only met for like a tiny little, day and a half?
Yeah.
And I was just,
Yeah.
There's so many people
and it was
that
taken away.
you can't expect to have like a one-on-one with all you famous YouTubers, So
Yeah.
you kind of
Oh.
I don't know about that.
you do what you do, and
But-
if they have time for you, then all the better,
Yeah,
So
but genuinely,
we
I
lost out
feel
on
like we got good conversations for the day and a half, and I'm like, I can't wait to talk to, this person and this person, and then it was just kind of, we have these plans, and the plans are broken.
Yeah.
We had dinner dates with
you,
and the cruisers, and I don't know. I talked great hair with Nancy and.
So can you tell us what Bermuda's like? Because we don't know.
Oh my God. So
Truly.
again, I wish we had. Okay, so you ready? The short story, long story
No,
short.
let us have it.
All right. So my bachelorette party was myself, my maid of honor, and one of my bridesmaids
on the Dawn,
Norwegian Dawn,
out of Boston to Bermuda.
It was Boston to Bermuda, and it was very last minute. So my maid of honor, and this was, Dave and I got married in 2015. So this was a year before, 2014. They booked it. They went out and had drinks. I was doing hair then. I was supposed to meet them, but I got stuck coloring hair. And they're like, meet me at Applebee's when you're done. Well, those bitches booked the cruise thinking Holly's going to do it anyways. Because I've already been there. Dave and I have already been there.
Yeah.
They booked it. I'm like, I'm getting married. I can't go. How do I go? They wanted to, so they wanted to book.
Know about Bermuda.
So I'm telling them. So my girlfriends booked Bermuda. So Dave and I went first. Then my girlfriends booked it for my bachelorette party. They twisted like everything. I literally booked my bachelorette party 1 to 2 days before.
Days, yeah.
Days. My best friend, she kept trying and it kept
It was-
kicking me
it was
out because
full.
it was fully booked.
There's no empty
And,
spots.
and I was in panic mode. So I rescheduled my whole book of salon people. And I said, I can't do, couldn't make it. Put everyone back in my salon book. My best friend was like, Holly, you're getting it. So I canceled everyone. She booked it for me. They're like, you're crazy, but we understand. Bachelorette happened then. Dave and I went first. My bachelorette, my best friend fell in love with Bermuda so much that the next year she got married in Bermuda.
On the beach
Full
there.
blown. So there was a major hurricane. What was it called?
Remember that hurricane picture I sent you
Oh yeah.
over Bermuda? It was the week
The
before.
week, yes.
Yeah, I
Bermuda
remember
got
you
wiped
said
out.
that, and I was like, "What the heck's going on over
Yeah.
here?"
We
Yeah.
were trying to mess with you.
Yeah.
So
I'm
we
like,
have
"No!"
many Bermuda's the most beautiful place in the world. So quaint, cobblestone walkways. Awesome.
Yeah. Well, Brian Schultz, of course. I would expect nothing less from Brian. Famous. Has Dave been drinking constantly since he got back from the cruise? That's what he says. But I also want to mention that Paul Atta is offering up the services of Gleckler, Perlman, and Atta pro bono. They'll get Chip Minsky on the case. That's the Ship Show law firm that is free to anyone who wants them. So far, they haven't really.
You might have to
technically-
actually end up owing Norwegian if you
Yeah.
use them.
They've never
Some
actually
don't.
won a case. However, every single time that we've used the services of Gleckler, Adler, and Perlman, whatever problem we had disappeared. except for the one time when I freaking pulled my hair over and they're like, "What's up?"
Do it
And
to
they
the
were
other
all
side. Yeah, I
laughing
like
at
that
me.
side. That one. I like
Yeah,
that
I like
one.
that one too.
I do too.
Yeah, they're not on board for my hair. They weren't willing to fight for me when people were trying to make it seem like I was ugly. But they will fight for you. I can promise you
Well,
that.
You guys were telling us first day and while in New York how Norwegianite you are, and being our first Norwegian cruise, we were like, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
It's all right.
exactly.
Okay,
They
so
switched it. They
it's so
switched it.
different after COVID. I mean, even the
Okay.
food. I mean, service is always top notch.
Service is always
And
awesome.
last week
what
when
I
you
will
rated-
say
Thanks,
that I
Tim.
Yeah.
experienced better than any other cruise I've
Yes.
ever been on.
Yeah.
Right. And we love, I mean, the food is great, but it's changed after this.
Yeah.
Like there was no chef tables we were looking forward to.
Yeah, we were gonna do it together.
And
Awesome.
we have never missed a chef table
Ever.
on any cruise ever.
8+ years. Yeah.
And Norwegian, they only do it one night the whole week.
Right.
So only 12 people can go out of 5,000 in a week.
Yep.
So we jump on that quick and they decided not to do it now. So we complained right off the bat too.
We did. We went right to them and they said, I said, could you please make sure, what was it? Remember how that place that they do the dueling pianos
Yeah.
in the French restaurant, across from the French restaurant?
That's where you can book your
You
dining.
you could book the dining there. The first day we went, because John, we didn't believe you, and we went right to them.
I told you,
and
yeah.
checked.
Not till I get there in person.
Yes. And they said they were going to put a complaint in.
Yeah,
because-
there needs to be. But Joe Smith wants to know, what is Chef's Table? Why don't you guys tell Joe what Chef's Table is?
Oh, it's epic. It's a 9 or 13 course dinner.
I think it's too much.
Okay,
I want to think
Dave,
it's like 7 courses.
I'm thinking it's 9. It's a lot.
It's a lot because
And-
if you
It's a
think
lot.
about
So
what they
you
give
get
you
all the
before you go
courses.
in.
And you get a glass of wine with each course because it's already prepared by the sommelier and the head chef. So they talk to each other and figure out what they're going to do. And they present it and explain the origin of the wine. They explain the food, how it was made or created. And they get
The recipe.
somewhat.
Yep.
And then you try it. And then they bring out the next one. And there's just only 12 of you or so at the table, and that's it.
And then by the time you're done,
You are fucking wasted.
You're done.
Yes. Yes.
Done.
And
Yeah.
and you can get multiple glasses too. Like, I like that wine. I didn't care for that one. I want to have a repeat of the other one, you know? So
And they literally, if they're done that wine, they'll reopen the other one. So say if you like the Sauvignon Blanc. Oh, Miss Wirt, you really enjoyed that. It's awesome you enjoyed that. Let me open another bottle for you, please. Yes, please.
because they don't serve it to
Refill
anybody
it up.
else. It's just for our table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's usually in a more opulent area, like kind of private,
Oh my
right?
God.
And sometimes, like on Carnival, you got to go in the galley for some of it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, Carnival was cool. And Tess says it was like 12 courses plus wine. A newbie
Yeah,
asked me
see?
after the
I
first
swear,
time
I was
course.
13. We have
No,
have
but
menus.
this was on
like
Carnival.
crazy.
This was on Carnival she's talking about. But she said some lady said, or a newbie asked her if they thought they'd get enough to eat. She thought that the 8 listed courses were just the choices,
No,
not
'cause
that
how it
you
comes
get
out
all
so-
of them.
No, because it comes out so small.
Yeah, but you get a whole bunch before you
Yeah.
even sit down, and then you get a bunch once you do. But
Yes,
Steve
I
Morales
feel like-
says, just give me a freaking burger.
See, I always feel like Norwegian,
But it
you're
took-
full to the max because it just keeps coming. And if you, okay, so say if you like their soup, like the asparagus cream soup, they brought us a couple of them because we liked it so much.
Yeah. Let me
Please
ask you
refill our
this.
wine.
Let me ask you this. I know you guys had your food wasn't as warm as it could be when it got to your cabin, but can I tell you this? And I know we've talked since the cruise, but the food, in my opinion, and I think York and others would agree, was less than stellar
Yeah.
on that cruise. Would you guys?
It was better
say-
than my Carnival cruise.
It's
My one and only Carnival cruise.
it's a lot less than we expected.
It
Okay.
was same with we're taking in comparison 2 months ago, we did Royal Caribbean. Same
Yeah.
thing. Pissed me off.
What
Pissed
was your
me off.
favorite meal
Because
on
I
board?
expected Norwegian to be
What was our favorite meal on
Royal to
board?
be here and Norwegian to be here.
It was the main dining room. It was the
Veal Oscar.
Dave was the veal Oscar. Mine was the shrimp Alfredo with mushrooms.
Ooh. Hey, Brian
Yeah.
Schultz has a good question for you guys. He says, I'm a cheap ass. What's the ballpark on the cost for chef's table on Norwegian? I know it's like $100 on
$130?
I would
On-
say 110.
Yeah,
it's like
about that.
100 on Royal and 100 on Carnival. So that
You're not going to get a better deal than that.
Yeah. But
You're not
110
going to get that kind of meal
is-
on land for that
No.
price.
And it's like 3 hours long too.
And it's
A long experience.
unlimited wine,
Mm-hmm.
unlimited liquor, and unlimited food.
Whatever you want.
And the
It's an
entertainment.
experience. It's an
Yeah.
experience.
yeah.
And pictures. Oh, on Norwegian, you get pictures with the chef
Oh,
and the
nice.
menu and your whole table.
That's each, Brian. That's
Professional.
$100 each.
Professional pictures.
Well, you know,
Right there right over here, Dave, to the left. Yeah.
But
And right
you
here
know what?
in the drawer.
Honestly, that's almost like an excursion unto itself. So if
It
you're,
is, it is.
You know, look at it that way.
A cheap excursion, yeah, but done well.
Yeah.
Doug Hayward says, my one good meal that was over the top was Ocean Blue. I went by myself, so I didn't get a second opinion. Okay, fair enough. I
didn't
liked
think- I
Ocean
didn't-
Blue, but it was
I didn't
alright.
think I had anything.
I didn't like Ocean Blue.
Honestly, the thing that I was consistently just happy with was wings at Oceans. I was like,
See,
Yeah, but
Oceans,
that-
I
the
love the
toast.
shepherd's pie.
yeah.
I didn't
Shepherd's
get it.
pie.
Like a dummy.
Oh
I
no,
didn't
it was
get
so good. Bunta ordered
was
it. These mini
so good.
skillets. It was so good.
I did.
It was
get,
like hot and pipe. Oh,
I
so
did
good.
get the turkey shepherd's pie in the MDR one day. But the one thing I said I was going to do based on your recommendation was that
I know.
shepherd's pie, and I didn't
I
do it.
know.
And you know what else I didn't do?
Oceans was a hit.
Yeah, it was
You
a
know,
staple.
like Playmakers on
Yeah.
Royal.
Nah, you
It
can pass
pisses
on that. Yeah,
That Oceans was great.
yeah. So let me tell
shepherd's
you,
pie.
I
All of it.
I haven't
Every
got to
option
look at the
was
drone footage yet, but I know that I flew on your side of the ship, and I have, I flew around the ship, So I want to look at the footage and find, because what did you guys do on your balcony when we were in
When
Bermuda?
John was
So
trying
again,
to find, when he was trying to find you
I was
guys,
sleeping.
he
I
was
was
getting
sleeping,
attacked by bees.
and Dave got crafty.
I'm like, I got plenty of time in my hands. I'm gonna get pretty creative. So while Holly's sleeping, I'm like, I gotta do something with myself. So I have your ship show shirt, and I stuffed it with towels. So it looked like a scarecrow kind of thing, and I was gonna tie it up over my balcony. So because I knew you were gonna fly the drone when we landed on Bermuda, so they can figure out where I was gonna be. So I have that. Actually, I switched it up a little bit because Holly's like, "Don't climb on a chair and hang it up. You're gonna fall
He's
overboard."
gonna die. I'm gonna be quarantined to my room. My husband's gonna
that's
die, and I'm gonna look over and say, "I'm going back to bed." Like,
So I put it over a chair instead, and I have my hat over my my camera clamp. I put over the balcony as well. So
Yeah.
I think it was this hat actually, or my red one. I don't know. But you should be able to see it. It should stand out. So probably the only hat on the whole balcony.
I'm going to look at the footage in a little bit more slow motion when I get time. I saw a question someone asked about the vlogs. I started editing the other day. Struggled mightily trying to tell a story with this, but I'm almost there. I think I'm almost to the easy part. I can't guarantee I'll have one this weekend because we're going out of town, but there's vlogs coming. And then there's vlogs from St. John, and then there's vlogs from Vegas, and then there's vlogs from the Carnival Horizon in 2019.
You're getting
And
backed
then
up.
by that time, we'll be on the Mardi Gras, and I'll have only had 3 out by then. But
wow.
You did try, dude. We were about to get back on the ship, and he lets the drone go up. He's like, "I'm gonna find the words. I'm flying. And then, in typical ship show fashion, John starts getting attacked by bees.
yes,
Oh no.
Maybe you should give half of the vlogs to York, and he can edit half, and you can do half. And you
did
get
you
them
hear
quicker.
that?
Oh, that'd be funny.
We got attacked
Yeah.
by bees in St. Kitts one time, like 3 years ago.
Swarm.
Well, truth be told, it really wasn't me that was being attacked by the bees. It was my
your
drone.
Yeah.
It was literally
Oh.
being attacked.
Yeah, but when
by,
you brought it back down, they like came with it.
yeah, they were like, "Brrr," like trying to kill it. But okay, listen. Pauletta says the vlogs are coming, and so is the new millennium. I bring it on myself. Okay, I get it. And I know you guys laugh at your own jokes, but for crying out loud, the low-hanging fruit is where the amateurs go. I expect better from y'all. You're the Coop. You guys are comedians in your own right. Do better.
Arnold says there's no way you'll have 3 out by the time Mardi Gras comes. Maybe 2.
Listen, Arnold.
Over-unders 2.
Okay.
Over-unders 2.
How about 5, you son of a... Huh? You like that, Arnold? Take that and shove it right up your... Never mind. Hey, listen. Guys, we really appreciate you guys coming on and talking to us about this.
Is there anything you guys didn't cover that you want to?
Yeah.
No, I can. What about you, Dave? I feel like,
I can't think of anything else.
honestly, when we were stuck in our rooms, Norwegian kicked ass. And I felt like, so every time, we were delivered food, they made sure right when they got it delivered to us, they made sure they checked on us to make sure everything was okay. It was kind of like over the top that we unplugged our phone sometimes because we kept getting phone calls.
I would say we get at least a dozen to 15 phone calls every day. You know,
And I'm like,
because they'd say, "What do you want for breakfast?" I'm like, "Well, it's only 9 o'clock, so I'm not ready to order yet."
yeah.
You know, and then we'd call them back and they say, "Oh, how was breakfast?" I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I barely had my coffee yet. You know, so I was
which we-
constantly checking up
That's
on
great.
you. You know,
Which we
which is
appreciate
very good. Yeah.
now, but at the time I'm like, you're interrupting my sleeping pattern. Come on now. You know?
But yeah, we unplugged the phone a couple times. Like, leave us alone. We're trying to be quiet now.
Yeah.
But they were
But then
they were good
It
considering.
made a difference having you call and check on us like almost every day. Sharon called and checked on us as well. So
Yeah.
that was very nice.
It made
of
us
everybody.
feel, because honestly, time was just ticking away. So when
Yeah.
I say so slowly, I can't even. It's like going to work and you want your shift to end.
Yeah. That's
Wor-
wow. That's
worse than that.
yeah. That's so true. I mean, wow.
Like-
that's pretty profound there.
Yeah. Like I didn't even want to eat most of the time. I didn't even
No.
want to to get up and shower most of it. Like, I was just done. I was over it. It was awful. Awful.
There is a hilarious question here. Cruising for food. Question. Did Dave and Holly submit a Bugoctober video in the midst of all that?
We didn't. We should have, but we didn't have internet. Yeah.
You know, it's not too late. You guys can make a Bugoctober
Because it's not going to be until next October.
Right. It's not too late. Listen, I'm going to ask you guys to give us a Bugoctober video. And I'm also going to look at some of you right in the face right now. Look at me. Look at me right here. You see this? Some of y'all let me down. You know who you are. There were so many of you that were Bugoctober stars that just said, There's one person, I'm not going to mention their name, but you know who you are. And if I don't get a Bugoctober video from you in the next day or so, I'll be knocking on your door, much like you were in last year's Bugoctober video, one of the ones that you did. Now you know who I'm talking to? I better get a Bugoctober video. But some of y'all just blew it. No Bugoctober video. Nah, I don't need to do it. Whatever. Pepito. What's up, Pepito? Where's your Bugoctober, huh?
Oh, yeah.
What's up? Huh? Come at me, bro. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You're just giving him, you're giving him ideas.
I know.
That's good.
What's up with that? Some of y'all let me down, and I'm sad.
Kevin says
not as sad as the words
Kevin
here.
said he sent his with the Harmony of the Seas footage.
We're not sad anymore, though.
Yeah, I know,
we're
but
planning our next ones. You gotta have something to look forward to.
When is your next one, guys?
Nothing's definite as of yet.
So right now, honestly, until Norwegian gives us some kind of acknowledgement, it doesn't sit well with me to book anything with him. And we originally had a March cruise planned. Same when you guys are doing yours.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think it's the 5th or 6th. We had that ready to go. But
With Norwegian.
if they don't do good to us, then we're coming on the ship with you guys, yo.
But we'll book it like a month before, so
that's okay.
February.
We'll call it.
There's also the Mardi Gras in early February. You know,
we'll call it the word do redo. Come on, we can do better than this.
Word do, whichever,
The
whatever
reworks.
works. But if they do good,
the
Whatever
rework.
works.
The
Reworks.
the reworks.
Oh, there you go. I like
But
it.
we have another cruise with our besties, and we're just waiting to see if Norwegian does us right. Same exact. I want to say it's the 5th or 6th.
The same day.
Same day. Leaves on a Saturday. The same day.
Paul says he's doing Bugockuary. Who's in? Of course. Paul's turned into a professional troll. My own lawyer.
Well, let's
has
hope
turned against
NCL
me.
does do you guys right. Give them a
Yeah,
chance.
'cause we have-
Give them a chance to do
York,
something.
What concerns me is we put big money down and they matched us for 8 future cruises.
Yeah.
So that's a whole other thing that we have to try. You know what I mean?
We'll keep you posted, let you know what they did for us and if anything. So, but I have a feeling this will be a big process.
That part stresses me out. Just
Downloading
because-
documents and it's no fun.
Like you said, though, the fact that it was just like, file a claim here, and that they kind of washed their hands of it.
Just no personal call. Where's the personal call? Like,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Well,
So, John, you're one of our besties too. Not to say we have other besties. You're one of them too.
well, thank you.
Well,
And-
someone wrote that.
Yeah, that was Brian Schultz. Most of his comments are like, can be misconstrued as trolly. He doesn't often say, "Hey, John,
That's
you
okay.
guys are cool." He usually says, something trolly, but we love him for that.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
We're hoping to make new besties too.
Yeah.
We're
Well,
not quarantined.
it is truly
Never
a pleasure knowing you guys, and that night that we had down in Tampa, we started. You guys were the only ones, right? You guys
know.
showed up. All these
we
people
did.
said they
It
were
was
going to be there, and then nobody showed. And then we ended up going back to my hotel, and you introduced me to the what was it? The something honey, the
Jack Honey.
Oh,
Jack honey.
loves
I
it.
love it.
It was so good.
On
I
the rock.
loved it. And we
Yeah.
had a great night. And, I left my keys or I lost my car. You guys had to drive me around and we found my car. And
I ended up peeing in bushes later on that
Oh,
evening.
that sounds so
Yeah.
ship showy. It's so
it was
awesome.
it was the perfect evening. It was the perfect evening.
That sounds so.
It was fun.
Yeah. Well, guys, listen, we won't keep you any longer. It's almost 11 o'clock, and I truly appreciate you
Oh
coming
my
on,
gosh. Yeah.
telling your story. I tried to keep my mouth shut as long as I could, but then we finished your wine, and you told me right before the show that you stopped checking the alcohol content. Well, maybe you should have on this one, okay?
No, it was good.
I'm just kidding.
Keep making that.
It
That
was
very good.
fantastic. And,
Which one did you like better, the red or the white?
I liked the Sauvignon Blanc
Wow.
better, but
That's
I
that's a cool, good pool drinking wine.
and I am normally a red wine drinker. I did like both, but
Okay, cool.
I also like to find wines that my wife and I don't have to order separate bottles. So
Nice,
this is
nice.
one we'd be able to
Yeah.
drink together.
Nice.
Anthony wants to know what's the email. There's no email. If you go in the Ship Show group, Anthony, I'll tag you in the post. There's a link where you can upload your Bugoctober videos. And listen, I just want you all to know next week I will be premiering the Bugoctober video. So if there's anyone
He's putting
here
it out there.
looking at you, you know who, and you know who, and you know who, and you
it
know
our
who, and
moderators?
you know who.
Is it
and
our
you know who.
moderators?
One of them is. You still have time to get your Bugoctober video out.
I think that's Nancy.
There are some of you, though, that are just, we need it. Come on, help us out, for heaven's sakes.
Wait, which one? Let's call her out. Which moderator has not done it? Is it Liz or
Liz.
Pam?
Liz.
Liz.
But in her defense, it's been a very trying time. I understand. And I love you, girl. But
Oh, people are saying they'll
There-
do it when they get their Trapper Keeper.
there's no such thing as Bugoctober without Liz. That's all I'm saying. Speaking of Trapper Keepers, I have an update on that next week. Also, because I was able to get the post office to mail me the prepaid crap because our post office couldn't get the damn boxes. We're good. Next week, all of them are going out. Also, the T-shirts, David, you won one in the drawing at the
Yeah.
meetup. Sharon sent me all the information for the people who won the drawing. So,
You heard it here
So I
first,
told her
folks.
I told her the color and the size, but I was hoping to get the Bagok one next because I already have
Yeah.
the Ship Show one.
well, I'll reach out if you want the Bagok one. No problem.
Sure.
No problem. No
Please.
problem whatsoever. So,
Oh, Carlos
All right.
says sock exchange question mark.
well,
We'll have to talk about that.
yeah, I'm gonna talk to Liz about it because I know it's a big commitment on her part, and there's a lot of things that she has to do on her end. So there's some. I'm actually willing to help as much as I can because, PSA, don't talk to people in the cruise group in the cruise with Trapper Keepers, assuming they are in our group. Says Joni. That's great. But I'm willing to help with that because I think the sock exchange thing that we do,
It just gets larger every year.
and it's too much for one person. So I'm
How
willing
dare
to
you.
I'm willing to help because I want to see it happen again. You know what I'm saying? I will say this. If you decide to join the sock exchange, you better send your socks, and you better send them because there was a couple things last year that were problematic. I ended
Did
up
you
sending
already post
socks
that?
all over the country.
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
No.
Good.
It's usually
On
post.
Facebook or here?
It's usually after Bugoctober's release.
Yeah, it was right after Bugoctober. Yeah, we'll post it in the Facebook group. Just
Okay.
message me, guys. Take care of you.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah. TX Pepito says, don't worry about the whale tail cup. That's good because, like we said about
broken.
2 months ago, it broke. So,
You guys, and I've seen the comments several times. Thank you for sharing your story.
you're
Really
welcome.
appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
And it's an unfortunate one, but it's
one that
honestly
had to be heard.
it's very interesting. I mean, the only other show that I could think of that is as interesting or whatever is when Fantastic Cruising comes in and talks about sea animals.
Yeah.
So it's like this
Yeah.
is fascinating to me.
It is.
So I appreciate that.
Yep.
Yeah. No problem.
And we
Yeah.
love you. And Dave, the hat game is strong. You only
Thank
make
you.
me want to improve mine more because I refuse to believe that anyone has a stronger hat game than me.
You, Tony, and Dave.
But you're giving me
Hat
a
off.
run for the money.
You just got to teach me some of those dance moves.
Yes,
You got to be born with it.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
He's tried for me. Yeah, it's
for
true.
sure.
You got to be
Yep,
born
yep.
with it.
Yep,
I'm just
I agree.
kidding. Look at
I
me
agree.
acting like I know something. Okay. Well, listen, everyone, let's give a big round of applause for Dave and Holly for coming out here and telling the story and reliving the crap that they went through that week, but taking it in stride and being the good folks that we know that they are. So we love you guys.
Hey, karma, right? Like
Yes.
they had to stay in the room and we had to stay on the ship. No one went anywhere.
Well, I mean, that's true, but
Yeah.
You guys got it worse. I'm not trying to compare, but it was
No,
a
I know.
strange cruise all in all.
yes,
It was. It was.
And you know what? The next one won't be like that. I promise.
Right.
Because
But
if
if you-
anyone
if you
comes
guys
up to
honestly-
you, I will say that I'm David and Kelly is Holly. So if we're on the breakaway in 2023
Or you guys can switch
and
identities.
they come after you, you could be like, no, I'm Kelly Clayco, and Dave could be like, no, I'm John. And I'll just be like, yeah, I'll bite the bullet. I promise.
Okay.
All right. Well, we
Yeah.
love you guys. Thanks for coming on. And to y'all in the coop, much love. Thanks for tuning in. May the force be with you. And one last thing, Dave and Holly, take care. Stay on the line. I'll be back with you in a moment.
Okie doke.
To those of you who have stuck around this long, I have one thing to say. I'm looking at y'all right now.
You're not looking at me, right?
Well, I don't know exactly where you stand on this, to be
okay.
perfectly
I'll
honest.
tell you.
Okay.
I'll tell you.
Well, let me get to my point. For all of you Christmas purists who want to sit here and talk to us about the proper time to put out your Christmas tree, I just want to say, suck it! Because you will never take my Christmas spirit away. And I don't know what timeline you started following years ago that required you to set up your Christmas tree 2 weeks before Christmas.
Yeah, and who made that rule, by the way?
I don't know. But you could take that rule and suck it! There is nothing you will do, say, post, or tell me in our Facebook group about when is the proper time to put up your Christmas tree. Because you know what? We just went through a crappy year and a half. If having a good time with your Christmas tree up brings you joy, Christmas joy, all to you, and to you a good Christmas too, then I wish you a happy freaking Christmas and stop bitching about when people put up their tree.
You know
Just
what?
zip it
Dick and Doodles
and
is
put
proud
up
of
your
you.
tree on December 15th like a bah humbug, okay? That's right, Donnie. I did that all for you.
You do you, Johnny.
But seriously, lay off. I know somebody's talking about you got to eat the turkey first. Listen, I personally,
I say we skip Thanksgiving and just go right to
yes,
Christmas.
I invited Santa Claus to our house, okay? I invited him to come have dinner with us. And that's right, Brian. I invited him to come have Thanksgiving. And we'll have our 3 Christmas trees up, and it'll make the house feel homier. There's not a better feeling than walking into a home, especially York and Lisa's during Christmas time, that's been properly decorated, right? Because when I do it, it looks like, an 8th grader just threw some crap on the
No,
shelf.
ours
You
looks
go-
like Santa threw up all over our
Nah,
house.
but your house, there's not a better feeling than walking into a house that's been decorated for Christmas.
But guess when that
And you see
happens at
that.
our house?
When?
This weekend.
See? That's what I'm talking about. Enough with your freaking
Christmas with the-
anti-Christmas
Christmas with the
bull
comps.
crap. Y'all can just suck it! That's the end of my rant. I'll be putting up the tree. I'm going to be decorating. I'm going to be posting. And I hope y'all give me all your trolly comments with it. And you should put your tree up earlier. That's all I have to say about that. And with that, Liz Breen says it's really great when it's 89 degrees out and you still have boob sweat.
Ooh, boob sweat.
Is Bunta really Santa, says Kevin Counts. Love the way you sing Suck It, says Tess. That's right. Thank you, Joni. Put your tree up when you want. And Donnie, put a tree up in your truck and zip it. Okay?
Oh, man.
And same with you, Wanda. You can unsub. Go ahead. Meanwhile, I'll be jingling all the way while you're sitting at home. Ooh, I gotta eat my turkey first.
Yeah, I bet if
I gotta have some turkey.
I bet if you go to,
and then I'll do the tree.
I bet if you go to Disney right now, there's like a whole bunch of Christmas decorations.
Oh my gosh. Like, I can't even go to Disney right now because they got like Christmas stuff up. And that is stupid. Like, that's the way I look at y'all. Like, nope, not going to Disney. Yep, they got the Christmas tree up and it's November. Yep, not going to do it. Instead, I'm just going to sit at home and watch The Walking Dead. I'm going to go on Hallmark Channel and look for Thanksgiving movies.
Hallmark Channel, so good.
I'm going to go into my living room and put pumpkins and turkeys and fake leaves all over the mantle because that's what makes me feel good inside.
No, you know when it's time to put up the tree is when the pumpkins are rotten.
Yes.
That's when it's time to put up the tree.
Yes. I roll my pumpkins down the hill for real. You know how I have that hill in my front
you
yard?
chuck them in the woods so that...
Yeah, but I literally make a game out of it. Like I pick them up at the top of the hill and I roll them down like bowling balls into the woods.
Fingers in like the eye holes? And
yes.
everything?
I'm like... You know, I try to hit an opossum as he's slowly walking by.
Nice.
I'm just kidding. That's
you have
not
a steep
true.
hill for that. That works.
Yes, I do, though. And every year I think, you know what? Maybe next year a pumpkin will grow there. But
Johnny B, yeah, long live fake tree. I'm with you on the fake tree. So I got a buddy that leaves his Christmas tree up year round.
I like it.
And like when it's St. Patrick's Day, he decorates the tree for St. Patrick's Day. Or if it's Halloween, he decorates it, whatever. So it's always there.
Yeah, I like it. How are you cooking the turkey this year, and whose yard are you getting them from, says Kevin Brubaker. I'll be in Ohio, but I get the joke. That is funny. If there was a turkey to cook, I would definitely say it would come from my yard, but I guarantee York would be the one cooking it because that man can cook.
Be fried with feathers on and everything.
Yeah, and by the way, can I just mention that
yes, Doug.
The local radio stations, now 2 of the stations are 100% Christmas 100% of the time.
Well, and have you noticed on Sirius XM, there's like 10 pop-up stations?
Yes. I hear them sleigh bells ringling. You know what's funny? I talk about this a lot, but when we went golfing this weekend, we were literally truly listening to Christmas carols
3
the
days
whole
in a row.
time.
Actually, the third
For
day
real.
we turned it off.
Well, at one point, Bunta turned it off, but then had a bad shot and put it back on, and all of a sudden we heard Silver Bells.
And he was playing well again.
Yes. I didn't forget my rant, damn it. Listen, Wanda, you take your turkey and suck it. Good night, everybody.
Hey, whoa. Oh, did we leave?